All right, ladies and gentlemen, today is going to be lesson three, endorsements and restrictions. Today's just going to be a bunch of slides. Now, I want you guys to take notes and please pay attention to this because some of this is repetitive. We're going to be talking about endorsements, which ones do you need, and also restrictions. A lot of people don't know that there's restrictions you could give for different reasons. So I made it repetitive because you got to know this stuff, and it's a little hard sometimes to memorize it and understand it. So we're going to go over some of the same stuff multiple times. So today we're going to be understanding where you can and cannot drive. In this lesson, we're going to go over CDL endorsements, CDL restrictions, career impacts, and how to avoid limitations. Like I said, take notes and please pay attention. There you go. All right. So if you want to follow along, this is a lesson of my CDL prep. When you join our school community, you're going to go to chapter 1, CDL Basics, lesson 3, endorsements and restrictions. Practice questions and lesson materials are available inside the classroom. Follow along step by step during this lesson. Why endorsements and restrictions matter. CDL is not the same for every driver. Endorsements allow you to operate specialized vehicles, while restrictions can limit what you are allowed to operate. Some drivers are allowed to operate tankers, school buses, hazmat loads, double trailers. Well, doubles and triples. I've seen the triples before. Your endorsement and restrictions can affect your job opportunities, pay, types of trucks you can drive, companies you qualify for, and the goal of this lesson is to understand the most common CDL endorsements and restrictions. What is a CDL endorsement? An endorsement is an additional qualification added to your CDL. It gives you permission to operate specialized vehicles, special cargo, and passenger transportation. Think of it like extra driving privileges. The more endorsements you have, the more job opportunities you may qualify for. Okay, so one of the main endorsements you could get is a hazmat endorsement. Hazmat materials required for transporting dangerous and hazardous materials. Examples could be fuel, chemicals, explosives, and certain gases. Hazmat drivers must follow strict federal regulations, requirements. You must pass a background check, TSA fingerprinting, and a written knowledge test. Now, I got a lot to say about this, but I'm going to try to keep it short for this hazmat endorsement. I did try to get it once when I worked for Covenant Transport for like a month. I passed the background check. They sent me for the fingerprinting, but I never went to take the test. I gave up because I started learning about it. Um, yeah, a lot of companies is good if you're delivering fuel or something, but if you do working for like Schneider or JB Hunt, it's completely up to you. But I'm going to tell you the math. They don't pay good. It's basically the same amount and it's more of a headache. For example, if you go through, for example, they're like, oh, $50 every hazmat load. So you get, for example, if you're getting 47 cents a mile and then you're getting $50 for the hazmat load, is it worth it? Think about it. You're going to go to the weigh station. You got to stop at 90% of every weigh station you see and show them your paperwork. So basically, you're not making much money because you're spending all those hours and time having to stop, you're worrying. You also got to take different routes that you don't get paid extra for. So you got to go around the city. A lot of hazmat loads cannot go through major cities. You have to go either overnight or through around the city. We're just going through. So it's a lot of stuff you got to think about when you think about getting the hazmat endorsement. I never went through with it because, in my personal opinion, it wasn't worth the money. So that's completely up to you. You get to decide on your own if you want the hazmat endorsement. If you have any questions about this, please let me know in the comments. Okay, tank vehicles. Examples could be fuel trucks, milk tankers, chemical tanks, liquid gases, bulk tank cargo. Important skill, understanding liquid surge. Surge occurs when liquid moves inside the tank and shifts vehicle weight. This can affect braking, turning, and stability. The goal is to understand tank vehicle operation, and the importance of controlling liquid surge for safe driving. So if you're going to drive a tanker truck, that's another endorsement you got to get because you got to understand the surge and the movement of the liquid and what happens. Okay. The passenger endorsement is for buses, shuttle vehicles, transit vehicles. Drivers must understand safe loading and unloading, emergency procedures, passenger management, railroad crossing rules. Passenger safety is always the top priority. Remember, safe passengers lead to successful trips and professional drivers. So this one here, if you want to transport passengers, I think it'll be fun. I think maybe in the future, if I ever retire or want to do something, I'll probably drive a bus, cross country. It'll be fun with passengers. I always thought about it. I remember when I lived in New York and New Jersey years ago, I did pass the test because I was thinking about it. I remember I wanted to work for Megabus, but they never called me back, so nothing ever happened. But I did pass the test and get the permit for the endorsement. S endorsement is for school buses, required for operating school buses transporting students. Requirements: you got to have a passenger endorsement requirement first. Additional testing, background screening in many states, and fingerprinting. The areas of focus are student safety, loading zones, flashing light procedures, railroad crossings, emergency evacuations. Student safety is the highest priority when operating a school bus. Now, this is one I wouldn't be interested in. I can't do it. I like teaching. I could teach adults and everything, but I can't be in a school bus with screaming kids or anything. Not for me. Understand the responsibilities and safety procedures required when transferring students. That's the main goal of getting that endorsement. T endorsement, double and triple trailers. I mentioned this earlier. You could pull doubles and triple trailers. The driver must understand off tracking, trailer sway, long stopping distance, and the turning challenges. Multiple trailers are more difficult to control than a single trailer. The goal is to develop the extra skills needed to safely operate multiple trailers and stay in full control. That's pretty fun. I always wanted to do that, but never had the chance to that. I always when I was younger, I was like, oh, one day I want to drive oversized loads or multiple trailers. I thought it'll be fun. I used to play the simulator when I was younger, and I remember I used to add multiple trailers, and you used to have fun with that. X endorsement. This one, I'm gonna be honest with you, I hardly ever see it. It's a tanker and hazmat endorsement combined. It's a fuel delivery, chemical transport, tanker transport, but most people um, just get the separate endorsements, the tanker and the hazmat. So they must file the tanker vehicle rules and hazardous material regulations. The goal is to understand how the X endorsement combines two critical endorsements and the responsibility it requires. What is a restriction? This is very important. Restrictions limit what vehicles you can legally operate. They are added to your CDL if you test in certain vehicles, you do not complete certain testing requirements. Restrictions can reduce job opportunities, vehicle operations, career flexibility. The goal is to avoid unnecessary restrictions whenever possible. Remember, the fewer restrictions on your CDL, the more freedom and opportunities you will have in your driving career. The E restriction, no manual transmission. This restriction means you cannot operate manual transmission trucks. You are limited to automatic transmission vehicles only. Why it matters? Some companies still use manual transmission trucks. This restriction may limit job availability and training opportunities. Easy memory tip: E equals easy, automatic only. So basically, I've seen this a lot. But back in the day, you had to get everything was manual. This whole automatic is within the last 5 years or so. And a lot of states are doing this so they could get people on the trucks quicker because a lot of new drivers are having issues learning how to shift gears. So they're like, oh, wait, most of the trucks now, Freightliner and most of the major companies all went automatic. So, hey, let's give them a restriction so they could get students in quicker. In the future, the most money I ever made was with small companies. I was working for a local small delivery company delivering stone. And that's the most money I ever made. So all their trucks are automatic. A lot of small companies, they like automatic. It's fun. They're not gonna have, I mean, a manual correction, manual. A lot of small companies, they like manual trucks. It's funner than the automatics. So you're gonna run into that. If you have a restriction, it's gonna stop you from getting a good local job where the owners have manual trucks and they don't like automatic. The L restriction means no air brakes. This restriction means you cannot operate vehicles with air brakes. Major problem, most semi trucks use full air brake systems. Why it matters, without air brake qualifications, many trucking jobs become unavailable. This restriction severely limits your career options. So avoid restrictions, expand your opportunities. So the goal is avoid these restrictions by completing all required training and testing in the correct type of vehicle. Z restriction, no full air brake system. This restriction means you can only operate vehicles with partial air systems. Some light duty vehicles use only partial air brake systems. Still restrictive. Many commercial vehicles require full air brake systems. This restriction can limit employment options, vehicle choices. So the goal is to understand what each restriction means and how it can affect your ability to drive certain vehicles and qualify for the best jobs. So a quick summary of restrictions and what they mean. The E means no manual transmission, cannot operate manual transmission trucks, limited job opportunities. The L means no air brakes, cannot operate vehicles with air brakes, many trucking jobs available. The Z, no full air brake system, can only operate vehicles with partial air brake systems, limits employment and vehicle choices. All right, a quick tip, train hard on testing the right vehicle to avoid these common restrictions. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so why endorsements matter? Additional endorsements can help you build a stronger and more successful driving career. Endorsements can lead to more job opportunities, higher pay potential, specialized driving positions, long term career growth. High demand endorsements, hazmat, tank vehicles, passenger school bus, doubles and triples, and you got your tanker and hazmat. The more qualifications you have, the more valuable you become to employers. So the goal is to earn additional endorsements to open more doors, increase your earning potential, and grow your career. Remember, more skills, more opportunities equals a stronger future in the trucking industry. All right, let's continue here. So, why restrictions matter? Restrictions can limit your ability to drive certain vehicles, apply for certain jobs, and earn higher pay. Restrictions may prevent you from driving certain trucks, applying for certain jobs, earning higher pay, and growing your career opportunities. Many employers prefer no restrictions, full air brake qualification, manual transmission experience, drivers who can operate a wide range of vehicles. Avoid restrictions whenever possible during CDL training and testing. The goal should be avoid unnecessary restrictions so you can qualify for jobs and build a successful trucking career. More options, better pay, stronger future. Restrictions can hold you back. Don't let them. So, understanding restriction codes. Restriction codes are entered on your CDL to indicate specific limitations on your driving privilege. So here's a common CDL restriction codes: no manual transmission, no air brakes, no full air brake system, and combination of restrictions. The impact may limit the types of jobs you can get, may affect your career advancement, and may impact your earning potential. Can affect your eligibility with certain employers. Important reminder, restrictions stay on your CDL until you meet the requirements to have them removed. So the goal is understand restriction codes so you can make informed decisions and plan your career path. To be honest, I really haven't seen many people with restrictions. It's like a rare case. The only restrictions I've seen is the manual transmission. Try to do your best to not get a restriction. Try to learn the manual shifting because in the future you're gonna want that. Especially after your 5 years, you're gonna want to settle down and do a local job. That's what I recommend. Here's a few restriction examples and how they work. Again, we went through this already. I'll just go through this real quickly. Temporary restrictions that could change. A medical waiver may be added while waiting for a medical condition to be resolved. Skill test waiver may be added if you pass certain parts of the skills test. Learner permit restrictions automatically removed once you receive your full CDL. Probation restrictions may be added due to past violations or new driver status. How to have them removed: improve your health, complete additional training, meet the requirements, maintain a clean record. Always check with your state's DMV for specific removal requirements. Now, out of these, the medical waiver, that's the only one I know about because I had that. They put restrictions like 30-day license restriction, and sometimes a 6 months or 1 year, depending on your ability to get your medical certificate, the DOT card. So the goal is to understand temporary restrictions also and take action to remove them and move your career forward. All right, ladies and gentlemen, like I always say, you got this. Knowledge today equals your success for tomorrow. Thank you for learning the basics of the CDL endorsements and restrictions. Keep learning. The more you know, the more opportunities you'll have. Stay focused, stay committed, stay safe, and keep moving forward. Your future is on the road. Great drivers build great careers. We're here to help you get there. Keep practicing, stay safe, drive your future. See you on the road. Please remember, if you have any questions, I always say no question is a stupid question. Please let me know in the comments. Please remember to follow and like these videos and subscribe if you're on YouTube.